Hi Libra, let's do your reading real quick. So just in the pre-shuffle, I'm just going to show you what came out and then we will lay out a formal spread, but looks like big changes. Possibly somebody is moving, or you just have moved or are moving or are about to move. There's a huge element of change, and for a lot of you it has to do with a physical move. So or it could be travel, a big journey, but something major, and it's something that's been pulling at you, I believe. But look at these moons, these 3 moons. Again, just pre-shuffle, all right? But we're going to lay out a spread and find out more. But something that, a big change, I feel like it's a positive change, but it's something that you don't like. What I'm picking up already is that this is a change that you have been anticipating or looking forward to, and like you maybe planned or knew was coming, and so therefore felt like you knew like the outcome and had you know, kind of an anticipation of what it was going to bring. But there's a lot more to it that you don't know. Big change coming, and I think there's going to be some good things that are unexpected. This 3 of inspiration, this is 3 of wands, so it's typically about, you know, progress and forward motion, or progress. There's another word I'm looking for. One moment. Advancement. But there's actually, see the dominoes? There's an actual, I feel like there's a gap in it. Like you're going to be stepping over something that you thought was part of the journey. You guys, let me know if that makes sense, okay? Because I know it is, I feel it very clear. I just don't know how it applies. But we got these 3 strong, I'm feeling these 3 strong circles as moons. And then there's 5 of voices. So there's some sort of conflict. This change is going to cause some conflict. For some of you, it's internal, but I think for a lot of you, it's a matter of somebody or something else in your environment. And this is really strange, but you know, I feel like for some of you, it's kind of a place where realizing you or someone else is just so spent that's why they don't reply, or they hang up or whatever, because they just don't have it in them to take one more thing. Okay, y'all let me know how that makes sense. Yeah, truth and clarity. Yep, look at this. Again, around communication. Oh my gosh, I just said this. Okay. Could be dealing with an Aries, somebody that is, you know, very into making things happen. Maybe somebody's like pushing their narrative or their plans on you, and it's just too much. So something's got to be shut down or blocked just to be able to hear things more clearly. It's like you got to shut out something to hear something else, right? Anyway, again, just pre-shuffle. Don't force it. This is, you know, very general reading, so just take what resonates and leave the rest. But we've got something being blocked, so that you got to cut something out so that you can hear your inner voice, is what I think. And there's somebody probably in your life that wants to communicate more than you do, or I don't like the idea of blocking or ghosting. I think it's really, really abusive, but I think in this situation, there might be a place where somebody just doesn't have it in them to explain more or deal with more at that moment. So they take the easier way out to block, which I'm kind of feeling understandable in this situation. Anyway, it's been a long road. Let's lay out a spread. Does that even make sense? It does to me. I just don't know how it would apply. But anyway, how are you guys? Hope you're well. If you guys are struggling to get going in the morning or get, you know, remember that your morning sets the tone for your day. So do this to get out of bed if you need help, or splash water on your face. Get started. It's just a matter of getting started. And then things, you know, that's the hardest part, is getting started. So anyway, it looks like there's some voices in your head, some false truths. So 10 of voices is 10 of swords. That's, you know, a lot of mental energy. It's also a very painful ending. This looks like fate. The 7 of voices is like deception. There's some sort of deception or two-facedness that's ending. Hangman. Okay, Taurus, Virgo. This is, of course, a general reading. Don't force it. Take what resonates and leave the rest. I felt like I was going to cry when I first sat down to do this. So I think some of you are really going through something really heavy. Four of Pentacles, that's protection, feeling protective, or a fear of lack. Maybe you've been holding on to something or not letting go of something, someone, because you just were afraid that there would be, there wouldn't be anything to replace it. So, I always think it's easier to stop ruminating and visiting negative cycles by interrupting them and replacing them, because it makes it easier for your neural pathway. So if you sit there and say, I'm not going to think about this and I'm not going to think about this anymore, it's kind of like you just are going to naturally think about it more. It's much more productive to replace it, redirect like you would a toddler. Okay, Three of Emotions. I don't know, you guys. This is feeling kind of heavy. Maybe a third party. Three of Emotions. That often is celebration or union. So maybe this is telling, replace what's hurting you maybe with a positive influence. Jumping jacks, a walk, a bike ride, is so essential to get out in the sun if you can. Bottom of the deck is freedom. I mean, not bottom of the deck. What lies beneath is freedom, needing to feel free. Look how gorgeous. Needing to feel free, needing to feel independent, not tied down. That was very strange that I felt to pull that card for right there with the Hangman. So some sort of sadness, Five of Emotions, feeling left out in the cold has really held somebody up. But that's in the recent past. Okay, your take on the situation. Three of Materials, that could be your strength. Three of Pentacles, that's being cooperative, collaborative, maybe too cooperative, too agreeable to the point where you short yourself. Wow, somebody else had that. And then also, I just created, before I forget, you guys check out Mystic Intuition. It's a channel on YouTube. She is such a good tarot reader. Her style is, I think it's very different than mine, but I think that's good, for you guys to have a different style. But anyway, check her out. She's so solid, and she's just always there for me. Anyway, I wanted to give her a shout out for you guys to check out her channel. Okay, it's called Mystic Intuition. She's here on YouTube. But anyway, when I walked into my room just a little while ago after taking Lucy out, I was reading this. My computer was on, and in the reading that was playing I was reading this blame card in the reading. So, and I was like, oh, I need to hear that. It's like often when I get so down, if I just turn on my computer, and a lot of times it's my own message, but it's a message from the past will come up, and it's like, oh my gosh, I needed to hear that. So what I did, I get really tired of hearing my voice. I'm sure I get tired of hearing anyone's voice I listen to too much. So that's pretty normal, so just keep that in mind when you get tired of hearing a reader. You're going to just need to, click off for a little bit. But this video, so rambling. The video that was playing was so freaking good. And I was like, God, I was like, I should just freaking publish this, because, I do set the intention that my readings are timeless, and it was so good for me. And I was like, I wonder how many people would benefit from this, that it's a Gemini reading, that aren't even Gemini, because I'm not Gemini. And so I was trying to figure out how to, republish that video for others, right, that hadn't seen it. And so what I'm doing is I'm starting a new playlist that's called, I'm going to name it My Favorites, no matter what your sign is. So I'm going to link that or put it at the end of the video. You can check that out. And as I come across these videos that I just find, they're like the extendeds. They're so detailed and so powerful that they're like, I always brag about the extendeds being like that, which I don't do very many. That's why I call them wellness personals. Anyway, I know I'm kind of rambling here, but I'm going to link that Gemini video, no matter what your sign is. It's probably valuable. Now, remember, you should see a sign or hear something in the first little bit of it to help you go, oh yeah, I need to watch this. You should always be discerning in what tarot readings you listen to and watch, right? I don't believe that when somebody says, if you came across this reading, it was meant for you. I don't believe that's always true. I don't think that's possible when 20,000 people are watching a video. You know what I mean? I think that's a good sign, and then you look for things in the readings, okay? Yeah, wow. I don't know. Are you guys all over the place? Anyway, I was reading this, and I wanted to read this to you at the end, and I will. I also am probably going to read you guys a tarot card meaning, because a lot of you are interested in learning tarot, and these different decks have different meanings. But this is maybe what's shifting here is we're taking responsibility, owning that you create your life. And it's the same as, like, not, if I fall into this sometimes. I really needed to hear this today, that, you know, blaming your outcome or where you are in life, or when you're tired, or when you don't feel good, or when you're, you know, having a hard time getting up, and we blame it on this and that. Yeah, those things are valid. If I don't feel good, it's valid. You know, my husband passed unexpectedly, leaving me with a baby and a baby on the way. That was unexpected. That was valuable. Feeling sad about that, right? But when we sink into that, it takes away our power. And that's not a good place to be, even if it's true and it's valid. When we blame other things outside of ourselves, we lose our power. So that's where this card, so anyway. Oh goodness. Okay, yes, I'm a mess, for whoever was just thinking that. But I'm a mess that's dedicated to helping everyone else. Okay, so 6 of inspiration. Look at that. Interesting. Power. This is being empowered. This is recognition. So this is cooperation. Maybe this is it. I think maybe what's others see this. I'm getting a lot here. You wanting to empower or cooperate may be causing you, maybe a thing about being seen as a certain way or in a certain place, but it's very empowering to kind of say F you once in a while and not care. It's very empowering to really go deep within what is best for you. Now, I know a lot of people take that to a different level when there's narcissists and all that, but those narcissists, I think those tendencies do come from a place of feeling unempowered. Okay. Also want to say that food is absolutely can make or break, I believe, depression. It can for me. So can sunshine, so can movement and exercise. Page of inspiration. I'm all over the place, I know. So there's the outcome. This change that you're making is going to be major, like maybe your biggest glow up ever. And I think it's coming after a very difficult time. I do want to clarify some of this. Wow, the Lover's in reverse. Wow, and that lotus. I've been big into lotuses lately. So the lotus is, it's a powerful symbol, and it's a flower that you guys tell me more, because I'm just learning more about them, but tell me more in the comments if you want. I would love to hear it. The lotus is a flower that really blossoms and opens up when the light is shined on it. So something about don't dim your light to accommodate others, okay? Yeah, look at this. I think that just the weight of it has just gotten too much. We're going to look at a part, see if you have somebody else going on, what's going on with a person in your life. But here we have the King of Materials. So this is amazing ability, potential. And you guys are having a big glow up. How did that get back on the deck? Oh, was this part of, maybe it was pre-shuffled, but you're going to have to jump over things that you may want to try and you may be tempted to get off track by stopping. Like, it'd be kind of like walking down the sidewalk and wanting to make the street prettier, and then you try to patch all the cracks in the sidewalk along the way. No. Jump over some of those cracks, okay? So jump over, you're going to have to skip out on some things that I think you might, it's like that phone call thing. If you take the time to respond to a text, and again, I don't agree with ghosting or ghosting. I think it's mean, it's cruel. I think you should do the right thing and tell somebody first, right? That you just don't have it in you right now, or I'm overwhelmed. Can we handle this later, or whatever you need to do, right? To not put somebody in an emotional despair of being ghosted. But there's some things that you're going to have to get. The opposite of that would be, okay, so somebody that I'm hurting that wants to be with me, and this is just a scenario, that wants to be with me, instead of telling them or avoiding them if they're overdoing it, if they won't take no for an answer, I keep responding and I keep putting myself in a scenario that brings me down. This is what I'm saying not to do. At some point, you got to just leap over it, okay, and not rescue everyone. There's the moon. Okay, let's see what's going on. If there's a person, what is Libra afraid to let go of? So anyway, you guys check out that playlist. It's going to be called My Favorites for all signs, meaning it might be a Gemini. There's going to be a mixture of all the different zodiac videos, but it's going to be the videos that I feel like, I wish this wasn't just for Gemini, because it's a message that every single person could benefit from. Okay, so Page of Swords. Somebody's watching you, or are you them? Yeah, there's an obsession. Interesting. The Devil card is Capricorn. Yeah, there's an obsession with somebody blocked someone. So if you're on the ghosting side of that, then I'm telling you what's happened here for a lot of you is that person just didn't have it in them to tell you what is the reason. And it's cowardly, yes, but it's not you. They didn't have it in them to deal with one more thing. It was just, they didn't have it in them to say the right thing or to tell you the truth because they're embarrassed or they did wrong, something like that. But it's turned into somewhat of an obsession here. But you got a huge glow up. Let me read this, and then I'm going to, let's see. Let me read this blank card real quick, and then we'll keep going. I was looking at the wrong deck, wasn't I? You guys have some really unbalanced. You're unusually unbalanced, I believe. But it's stemming from trying to make everybody else happy and keep the peace. Like, if you didn't break it, what makes you think you can fix it, you know? Okay, I accept responsibility for my well-being. It's so easy to give away the power to transform your life. Certainly, there have been people along your path who have shaped you into who you are today, but you are solely responsible for your own happiness. The ego can be very frail, and if it comes under fire, the first instinct is to blame an outside force. Victim consciousness weakens the connection that you have to your soul source. This mindset says, I don't have the power inside myself to break free because someone else's power is stronger. This is an illusion. When you believe that someone else is responsible for your problems, that belief is the problem. Personal responsibility can empower you to change your real reality. Lasting transformation always begins on the inside and works its way out. There is a difference between a reason and an excuse. A reason is valid and unavoidable. An excuse is an attempt to shift the blame. Oh, interesting, because our big thing was change in the beginning, and the pre-shuffle on the very next page says change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement, and we talked about that in the beginning. So this is a super strong reading. There's a certain comfort in the idea of living a life without surprises. The status quo has an appeal, but you will never learn or grow from if your circumstances stay the same. Everybody wants life to be better, but that requires change. You have chosen to incarnate into the physical dimension called Earth because of the myriad of opportunities. If you don't take advantage of them, what's the point? Staying within your comfort zone is overrated. With change comes transformation, and with transformation comes evolution. So stop viewing change as good or bad, because all change nourishes your soul. Wow, that's powerful. I'm going to probably put this in the community tab, these two, one of these cards at least. Don't equate it with a lack of control. Life happens, and it's supposed to happen. You can direct how it plays out, and you always have the power to accept a change that redirects your path. Wow. That was powerful. Okay, so this moon card came out twice, so I'm going to read you the meaning of that real quick, because a lot of you are learning tarot, and this is, even if you already know tarot, these different decks have different meanings or, explanations, which are always valuable. So keywords for the moon card, number 18, illusions, hidden truth, shadows in the moonlight, facing your fears, obscured knowledge, the need to trust your intuition, instinct, the things you cannot know at this time, and subtle illumination. She is having trouble seeing the paths that lie ahead. Okay, they're talking about the card now, the image on the card. Sorry about the beeping. Kind of appropriate. Two maidens light the way, yet neither can illuminate what exists beyond the fog of horizons. The fog of the horizon. Their counsel is to tune into the moon and to trust the inner voice. She squints to see, and the watery surface plays tricks in the dark. I'm losing my voice suddenly, which is typically happens when there's a need to speak your mind, right? And I'm shaking, that's strange. The shadows of the shadows cast illusions. And without true clarity, she finds herself quieted, afraid, unsure. She takes a deep breath, and the muse of the moon stirs as her light bends and lengthens. Moonchild, no, I don't know what's going on with me. My eyes are like almost giving out. It's almost like a drunk feeling. Like my vision is blurred suddenly. Okay. The shadows of the shadows cast illusions, and without true clarity, she finds herself quieted and afraid, unsure. She takes a deep breath, and the muse of the moon stirs as her light bends and lengthens. Moonchild, there is an ancient wisdom ahead, and yet you must meander into the moonlit streams of unconscious trust and allow your intuition to hear the gentle nudges of your knowing. Her voice streams in, louder now. Find peace within the shadows, for there is deep magic there. Find deep truth in your own discernment. Sometimes you cannot know until you walk the way. Know that your path will indeed be one of uncertainty at times, and allow your fears to dissipate as the sun peeks over the horizon at dawn. You were written in stardust and folded through time, and the seas of illusion are your moments to climb. Wow, I need to read one of these every reading. That was freaking amazing. I love that it's pink too. Let's read a moon card. That was weird. I got like my vision blurred really bad there. So also, you guys, if you would, I would love to hear, I hope this reading, at any point there's a, like one line or a part of the reading that really struck home or resonated or helped you in some way. I love when you guys tell me about it. Look at that, 2 crabs. Check that out. Oh my gosh, major Cancer energy here. You and your loved ones are safe in a, oh my gosh. Yeah, I have so much emotion. This reading is kind of freaking me out. A personal issue reaches resolution. You've got new moon in Cancer and full moon in Cancer. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. Amazing. I feel like some of you are just wanting to know a little. Let me pull one card on the person on your mind. But remember, if you were the one that was ghosted, oh my. Okay, so this is interesting because this is like the third reading in a row this card has come out. Someone is secretly yearning for you, and you are safe and divinely guided. And this connection is passionate but not enduring. You guys have something major going on. Look at this. Safety twice. And I've never gotten that weird, like almost blurred vision, like almost like I've never felt that way in a reading. You guys have something major going on. But the main thing is you've got forward motion, and you're going to have to skip over something that's difficult or that you might feel a little bit obligated to mend. You know, you may have to look. I think there's a need to look out for yourself first, and there's an obsession here. But there's something that has to be jumped over, skipped, in order to move ahead. You guys let me know. Confusing but amazing, strong reading, longing. So this person, somebody is longing for you, but it looks like there's somebody that's not really somebody that you should be trying to appease. And the reason that they ghosted or you were ghosted is because somebody just didn't have it in them to deal with it. Okay, you guys let me know. Love you guys. Sorry it's all over the place, and I will see you soon.